Hey, this is Cherith. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you being here today. I know that you have a lot of choices here on YouTube, and I'm just glad that you chose to spend a little bit of time with me. So I want to talk today about something a little bit different from what I'm usually talking about. I want to talk about dealing with grief. The reason that I want to talk about this is that I was looking at a video just the other day with Tabitha Brown, and she was talking about how sharing your story can help someone else. So I've thought about my own grief journey. I realized that I needed to share my story, not because I want everybody to know what is going on in my life, but because I want to help someone else who may be going through something very similar. So right before the pandemic hit the world, I lost both of my parents within 3 months of each other. My mom had been ill for quite some time, but my dad's death was unexpected. It is something that was very difficult to deal with for a lot of reasons. See, I'm extremely close to my parents, so it was very difficult for me to figure out how I was going to live life without them. But I knew one thing for sure is that they would not want me wallowing in grief. So I decided, after I spent a little bit of time saying that I wasn't going to go on with my life, I wasn't going to be able to move forward, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I want to specifically talk about 5 ways that I have dealt with or that I'm continuing to deal with grief. The reason that I wanted to come forward with this video is because I hear so many people making comments like, you're so strong and you've been able to bounce back and all of these things. And to be honest, it's simply not true. I spend every single day making a conscious effort to live life the way that I know my parents would want me to live. So I'm going to share with you 5 things that I do on a continuous basis to help me with my grief journey. I don't know if you're a spiritual person or not, but the very first thing on my list is prayer. If it had not been for my relationship with God, my prayer life, I would not be where I am right now. I know that there are days that I had to rely on a higher power because I literally did not have the ability to get up and to face the world, to face my family, and to face the things that I had going on in my life. So I had to be very, very, very strict about praying and about just talking to God and just asking for his help, asking for strength to help me to go on with life, because there were times where I honestly did not know how I was going to do those things. And I honestly believe that because of my relationship with God and because I committed to a life of prayer, that's why I'm able to stand right here before you today and talk. The second thing was increased time with family and friends. Now, that's one thing that I have to say is a positive of this pandemic. Right after my parents passed away, this pandemic happened. And that meant that I was at home all day, every day with my husband and 2 children. Thank God we like each other, right? But anyway, it was so nice to be surrounded by my loved ones and people who encouraged me, and I was able to hug and laugh and just have a good time with, and also to cry with when I needed to cry. My family has been a huge, huge part of me being able to make it through this obstacle, is what I call it, because it is definitely an obstacle and a challenge. And I know that everyone has to deal with things, and I know some people deal with things in the opposite way. Some people like to be alone, but for me, I found it very, very helpful to increase my time with family and friends. I was constantly talking to friends on the phone, talking to family members on the phone, and again, being here with my husband and children made it much easier, I guess I would say, to be able to face my feelings and what was going on and dealing with life after loss. The third thing is therapy. Now, I know in the Black community that therapy is not always something that is even thought of as an option. I didn't grow up knowing anyone who was going to therapy. So it was really difficult for me to kind of bite the bullet and go against everything that I knew. I don't say everything that I believed, but everything that I knew. I didn't know anyone who personally had gone to a grief counselor, but that was something that was very, very helpful for me. I was able to talk through my feelings and just think through my feelings and put a plan in place to move forward with life. So it was very nice for me. Now, I did have a little bit of apprehension in the beginning, and I don't know that I was getting the most out of the situation just because I wasn't open-minded about it. But I do urge you that if you are dealing with grief, there are so many counselors available, and you can shop around until you find the one that works for you. I went through 2 or 3 counselors before I found one that I really felt comfortable with and that I really felt like I was making progress with. So don't be shy about, saying, hey, maybe this isn't the right relationship for me. Find somebody that you align with or that you really feel like you're getting the most out of, or else you're not going to get anything from it. But it is definitely something that I am glad that I kept an open mind about and that I took the plunge and went through with it, because it has really been something that has changed my life for the better. Number 4 is exercising. Exercising has been a great way for me to be able to deal with grief. Anytime I feel myself kind of getting overwhelmed with emotion, and it happens a lot, I get on my bike or I go outside and walk or I do some exercises or something to just kind of deal with that energy that I have that's bottled up inside of me, and it has proven to be very effective. So one thing that I would recommend you do if you are feeling just overwhelmed with emotions and you don't know what to do, exercising is a great way to just kind of get some of that energy out. Number 5 is blogging. I started a blog almost a year ago, and it has been so therapeutic for me. Now, am I saying that you need to go out and start a blog? No, but what I am suggesting is that you find whatever that thing is that allows you to just clear your mind and focus on something other than the loss. And actually, I blogged about my grief, and that kind of helped me to be able to get those feelings from my head, out of my head, so that I could be productive. So that may be something that may be helpful for you. So find you a hobby. It doesn't have to be blogging, obviously. You can find something that you love to do that is going to just take your mind to another place. It is so helpful to be able to have something that you can do that is going to bring out some positive energy and something that's really going to help you to be able to focus and cope with life. These are just 5 things that I have done to help me while on my grief journey. Now, I know that no 2 people's grief journey is the same, and I know that there are some of these things that will work for you and some of these things that won't work for you, but I wanted to share them with you because it is what I have done to be able to live, breathe, take care of the people and things around me, and to take care of myself also. Grief is such a tricky thing, and the thing of it is you never really get there. Sometimes when I feel like I'm better and that I'm okay, something will trigger inside and kind of set me back to a low place, a place where I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to be bothered with people. I get frustrated with people. I get frustrated with my family. There are just, little things. You can be having a great day and then all of a sudden, a memory sparks and then it gets you sad again. The thing about a grief journey is that it's just that, a journey. You're never actually there. So you have to learn how to deal with and cope with and just make it through life without the people that you love. So it is important for you to try a variety of things until you find what it is that's going to make you feel better and help you to be able to cope with life. One thing that I know that your loved one wouldn't want you to do is to just sit around and sulk and not go forth with life. I knew for a fact that my parents would be highly disappointed in me if I just, succumbed to their death. I know that it was important for me to be able to continue to make them proud and to do things and to work hard and do all the things that they have taught me throughout life. So I knew that it wasn't an option for me to just lay down and quit. I, had those conversations with my children because they were very close to my parents as well. In order for us to honor my parents' legacy, we have to do the things that they have instilled in us our entire life. So listen, make sure that you are thinking about someone other than yourself, because it is selfish to just say, oh, I can't go. I felt like it was selfish to just go on with my life and say, I can't make it without this person. I know that it is very difficult to live life without the people that you love the most. And I am reminded every day of just how important my parents were in my life. And I try to focus on my own loss. How many people have lost loved ones, especially during this pandemic? How many people have lost husbands, wives, children, parents? I'm not the only one. That's what I tell myself. And that's the thing that keeps me going too. I say, I'm not the only one that this has happened to. And I can look at other people who have experienced loss and they are thriving. They are doing things and they're not just sulking. So it was really important for me to be able to find a way to work through my grief journey as well. I appreciate you tuning into this video today. I have a complete blog post that talks about this same topic that I'll link below. If you are someone who watches my videos regularly, make sure to subscribe so that you will not miss a single video when it comes out. If you know someone who is experiencing grief and that may be able to find something helpful out of this video, go ahead and share it with them as well. Otherwise, I will see you next week.